Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477.
Everything look good on your end?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll fire it up in here, and if we don't need to talk again, I will speak with you next Monday night.
Alrighty then.
Powered by Learfield.
Mark, 4 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Mark, 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank. This is Hail Southern Live, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern athletics. Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. It pays to bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Please enjoy responsibly. And by Optum Orthopedics, the official orthopedic care provider to Georgia Southern Athletics. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it's great to see you again. Another Monday night from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro means another edition of Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, as football hits its second mini bye week of 2025. It's a hoop special from just off Fair Road. We'll be talking with women's head coach Hana Haden, men's head coach Charlie Henry. We'll get a special look in with Director of Athletics Chris Davis a little bit later on. And as usual on Hail Southern Live, for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube Live, and you can submit your questions in the comments section, or you can send us a tweet at GS Sports Network. One of the most important parts of our basketball programs, of course, the Roundball Club, and one of the individuals responsible for not only getting the word out, but also acquiring even more awareness and getting extra membership is somebody that is the walking encyclopedia for Georgia Southern basketball, longtime assistant and longtime member of the Roundball Club. Eagle Nation, give it up for Mike Backus here inside Wild Wing Cafe.
Danny, thank you. Thank you.
Now, you're a very popular guy, so to get you to do this, it was a really big undertaking.
I was a little nervous.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
No, I'm among friends, and we've been doing this a long time, and anything we can do to promote Georgia Southern, and especially athletics, I'm all in.
In the 40 years that you've spent in and around this program as an assistant with the Roundball Club, just trying to spread the word about Eagle basketball, what is it that makes this program so special?
I want to think that I'm one of the architects of putting it all together back in the 80s. When we initially started it, we brought it to where we are today. And when I look around at the support, it's the same people that were with us on ground level, starting this thing in the 80s with Coach Kearns to where we are now, Danny. And it has been a personal ride for me. It's like my baby has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown to where we are right now. Fantastic.
And you have had relationships, not just the people that you're seeing that are helping build this thing from the ground up, but I know that you could pick up your cell phone, go through any of those numbers, that guys that you've known for decades and decades, and you can get anything in a moment's notice. You could send an email and get anything in a moment's notice. It really is like a family, and I know we associate that so much with Georgia Southern football, but on the basketball side, when you think about it that way, I think it reigns pretty true as well.
It's exactly how we started the Roundball Club. I think we're going in on year probably 7, and I just told the guys, especially my 1980 guys, I said, we do not have a version of men's reunions. I said, football has a good one. I believe some of the other sports do. I said, but basketball, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Until now, we're going to start it. And so we started it. Our last one last year, we had over 300 people with families to come, 100 and some guys from all over now. Now, when we started this, we now have a database of over 400 people who have played basketball for Georgia Southern. The main function is to raise funds for men's basketball and to bring those guys back, introduce them, let them have their day in the sun, introduce them at the game, and have a good weekend, and Hail Southern. Yeah.
You walk in Hanner Fieldhouse, the stories just naturally come up, and now you walk in the Jack and Ruth Ann Hill Convocation Center. It's not even a year old yet, but even some of the games that were played there last year, it's going to be part of building those memories. And for some guys, maybe they haven't had a chance to come back yet, but they could see what the conversation was about for so long, what could be possible when everybody's on the same page. You get a $64 million convocation center that's the biggest event space between here and Macon.
Yes, but what was so great about the athletic department is that the merging of those two buildings it is as if you walked out of history, took a pause, and right back into it. You can come in, you can see the Hall of Fame, you can see everything around you, you can see the guys. A court is a court. This is a great court. The atmosphere is the same. It's a little bigger. So it was just a continuous walk through the nostalgia area, and what a great place to play.
What is it that when you speak with maybe people that don't know a ton about this program, because you get a chance to know everybody in and around venues, But when you speak about this program to people that maybe need to know a little bit more, how do you tell the story?
The story starts here. You can get anywhere from here. You can get into the NBA by either being a coach, Mike Curry, or a player, Mike Curry, Jeff Sanders, or you can take your career to another level in sports, coaching overseas, playing overseas. You can keep the camaraderie of all the players that you formerly played. And oh, by the way, we've been to 3 NCAA tournaments, 2 NIT tournaments, all Americans, all conference, all everything from here.
One of those NCAA tournaments you actually talk about, or you help talk about in the book that you have with you. We had Bill McNair on the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show not too long ago talking about the release of Powered Forward from Redbone to the World Stage. But for people that get a chance to either get the digital copy or the hard copy, you can go online to Amazon to find out more information. You wrote the foreword to Bill's book. Now, how did that come about?
Bill called me and says, Coach, I'm putting this book together. I says, well, Bill, all books need a foreword. And so he says, oh, okay. He says, well, how do I do that? I said, I want you to go out and find the most famous person you can find, some coaches you've met in your career, tell them what you're trying to do, and have them write the foreword. So he says, okay. And so we hung up, and maybe 3 or 4 days later, he called me back. He says, Coach, to us, you famous. So he says, I want you to write the foreword. And so I started thinking about that, and that's probably one of the nicest compliments anybody has ever said, is that I want you to write the foreword to my book because to all of us, you're famous. And so that kind of touched the old heart, put it in perspective. But I said, look, some things we can't put in this book. So yeah, so it was great, and the book is interesting, I tell you, and he's going to do a good job with this book.
Well, that's a guy who has spoken on the phone with Coach K, who ran into Michael Jordan at a McDonald's randomly in the early 1980s. He's played basketball against Karl Malone, Danny Ainge, George Gervin, but he wanted you to have the very first word in his book.
I'm speechless.
That's pretty cool stuff.
That's cool stuff. That's cool stuff on any stage, especially it keeps us in the family, and I can speak from the heart.
What are you anticipating most about the upcoming basketball season? Less than a week away.
First of all, my first thoughts. To me, the team's already good, because how can Charlie Henry, and I mean this is mind-boggling, start a basketball season with no team? You walk into practice, everybody is new, and you have to introduce each other, get them to gel, get to know them, and get to play them. To me, they're already winners. And if anybody has seen them practice or anything like that, if you get a chance, come to all the games, he has meshed a group of strangers into a cohesive group so far. And if they are the 10th team, best team in this league, 10th, I hate to see what the rest of the team looks like. I do not think that this is where they would finish.
All right, for people that want to get more information on the Roundball Club, how can they do that?
Mike Backus, 34@gmail.com, a Roundball Club website where you can donate and see what we're doing, see our newsletters, and you can stay informed.
Coach, appreciate you being on for our first segment tonight. I know this is a special time of the year for you, just like it is for a lot of Eagle people, so we really do appreciate it.
Dan, as always, it's nice to talk to Eagle friends. It's always nice to talk to you, and kudos to what you're doing, my buddy.
That's the coach, Mike Backus. You can learn more about the Roundball Club from Coach Backus. We'll talk women's basketball with Hana Haden after this break. Hail Southern Live continues on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
When it comes to your heating and cooling needs, don't sacrifice your comfort. Ogeechee Heating and Air has served Southeast Georgia and surrounding communities for more than 15 years. With more than 35 years of industry experience, these licensed and insured heating contractors have the experience and know-how to get your HVAC job done right the first time. Whether you're selecting a new heating or cooling system, repairing an existing system, or you just want lower energy bills and a healthier home, Ogeechee Heating and Air has the service and expertise you're looking for. Call today, 912-739-4035.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. Go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedic and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. And with Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics. Schedule online today.
Looking to level up your brand? Since 1977, Bahama Joe's has been your go-to for custom apparel, promo products, and merch that gets noticed. From screen printing to embroidery to swag that makes a statement, we bring your vision to life. Locally owned, creatively driven, and island-inspired. We've got your back, your shirt, and your brand. Bahama Joe's, branded to stand out. Visit bahamajoes.com today.
Whether you're cheering from the 50-yard line or your living room couch, Citizens Bank of the South is proud to stand with you in support of the Georgia Southern Eagles. From student checking to home loans, they've got your back on campus, in their communities, and beyond. Owned and managed by a strong group of Georgia Southern alumni, Team CBOTS is fiercely loyal and always bring their best, just like the Eagles. Citizens Bank of the South is banking built for champions. Local, loyal, loud, and proud to be in Sandersville, Statesboro, and Milledgeville. Visit them today at cbots.com. FDIC insured and an equal opportunity employer.
In a world where everything changes, what do? You find something steady, a comforting hand, a dependable voice, a familiar face, someone who knows your story and your name. At Morris Bank, we've spent generations working to be just that for all of our customers. We've been right here with you through every season, every challenge, and every win. Times will change, but we know some things shouldn't, because it's not just banking, it's belonging, and it's why it pays to bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Attention Eagle Nation, it's game day. And Parker's Kitchen is bringing the heat with the all-new Chewy Roads Hot Honey Combo, featuring our crispy chicken tender sandwich paired with Mike's Hot Honey. So before you head to Paulson, grab the Chewy Roads Hot Honey Combo today. Let's gatta! At Parker's Kitchen, we go big, like our huge, crunchy, juicy, never frozen chicken tenders. Piled high in a sandwich or in a meal with an extra large serving of Parker's signature sauce. Bigger is better at Parker's Kitchen.
Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Thanks to Mike Backus from the Roundball Club for joining us to get our basketball special of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing going. We've got women's basketball coming up 6 days from now. The front end of the Max Sunbelt Challenge at the Jack and Ruth Ann Hill Convocation Center. It's a 6 o'clock tip between the Eagles and the Central Michigan Chippewas. Later on next week on Thursday, the women will be heading to Tallahassee to take on Florida State, and then the one everybody's waiting for, sellout crowd at the Hill on Sunday against the number 5 LSU Tigers. To talk about that in the start of the season, entering year 2 in Statesboro, please welcome in Hana Haden. There's a chance.
Thanks, everybody.
That's the loudest cheer of the year. Good for you. All right, we've talked about the roster a good bit in various appearances. I know that hometown hoops and scoops was a big deal, and you talked about the team there. But to give the message directly to some of the donors, how successful was that night for the program?
It was a huge night. Thanks again for to the foundation for putting that together for us. We had, I don't know, over 100 kids, maybe seemed like even more than that. And, they got to go through the mini camp with both teams. And I thought, both us and the men's teams, our players did a phenomenal job. We got so many compliments from all of the community members that were there and our supporters just on how both teams' players interacted with the kids, and how the parents and the people that brought them just felt like that was going to be a core memory for those young people. And then we got the chance Charlie and I, to share a little bit about our teams, obviously having CY Young back. And then I thought the freshmen, both groups put together a pretty good karaoke performance at the end. So that was really entertaining. So it was an awesome night.
I think your squad easily won that one.
I have to give it to them too. What is that? The Party in the USA? That was a classic. Yeah. Two good song choices, but yeah, that was really fun.
This wasn't just having kids to the hill to play basketball for a couple of hours. Yes, you want them to have fun, but that's also your future fan base. You got to appeal to them now, because they'll be able to bring people with them. When they get older, they're bringing their families. This is what starts the lifelong partnership with Georgia Southern. Absolutely.
That's the goal. I know, both teams really enjoy getting out and interacting with those young people, and it's so much fun, and just the different community service things that we get to do, and we get to see a lot of those familiar faces. And so I do think that both groups are really doing a good job continuing to cultivate that for the future of our fan base.
All right, with off-season about to officially go into in-season, what's the excitement level like for a head coach about to enter year 2?
It's really exciting, just thinking about really from last season finishing up, and I remember my staff and I sat in the room and we really talked about what we wanted this year to look like. And obviously a lot of that was addressed in recruiting, and the different young women that, we got to be a part of our program, and getting them all here together this summer, and really trying to build that camaraderie, we like to call it a sisterhood, was really important to us. And so just to see it evolve, and we always talk about, just because, they all start showing up wearing the same shirts, right? It just doesn't just become a sisterhood overnight. It really has to naturally develop. And it's been really fun to see this group do this. I think every season you want to kind of make that year your masterpiece. And it, obviously it's a process, and it's been really fun to see it come together. And I can't believe we're 6 days out, and I'm just really excited to see this group's, work come to fruition.
With 4 returners and 10 newcomers, how would you describe that process of not just getting everybody together, but making sure that they can play with each other, they can respect each other, and then produce that on-court product?
Yeah, I think the first part of the process is obviously in the recruiting, you're trying to ask the right questions. And we wanted people that, again, value that sisterhood and want to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves, and really love the game, and obviously really talented players, but that are really just bought in on winning, on that culture, and being here at Georgia Southern. And so I think it started there. And honestly, I think whenever you do that and you get the right people, then at least your culture part kind of takes care of itself. They make it easy for us in that respect, as far as how we're treating each other and the way that we approach, whether it's practice, community service, all the different things that we ask them to do. They make that part easy for us, because they're just really great character young women.
Yeah, the amount of community service, you and I have talked about that before. What you've done in the off season is so far above and beyond what a normal team that is so committed, like a classroom they've got on court, but to do so much in the community to show what you're about, but also create awareness, create a bigger fan base. And the fact that they bought into it like they have, that this isn't a got to. They treat this like it's a get to.
Yes, they do. They do. And I want to credit my assistant, Dee Anderson, that's here. She coordinates all of that community service and just does such a phenomenal job of getting our players out. And, to your point, yes, it's not pulling teeth. They look forward to doing it. They do it with a great spirit. And so, I've said this a bunch of times, but we're blessed and we want to give back. It's a great way to spend time together, and we hope that those deposits are being made and hopefully getting people out to see us.
What would you say are some of the things that really stand out about your team? I know that you're still 6 days away from an official game, but with your scrimmages that have taken place, one here and then you played really well up in Athens last weekend. But from your and your assistants' eyes, what's really sticking out on the court about this group?
I would definitely say our defensive presence. I think in both of those games, we utilized our press pretty much the entire game. We kind of have 2 presses that we toggle between, with the main one being designed to speed you up. And I think the Georgia College game, we forced 30 turnovers, and the UGA game, we forced 27 turnovers. And so obviously it's a huge asset to be able to kind of take away some of those possessions for them, and it earns your team extra possessions. And so I would say that, and the amount of threes that we're shooting, we didn't want to shoot probably more than 15 to maybe 18 on a really good night threes last year, because we just weren't shooting it at a high enough clip. And so I think we shot 29 threes the first game and 27 the second game against UGA. And so, and we scored in the 80s both times. So that's something that's important for this team. We want to make 10 threes a game. And that's a goal for us. And then obviously the points off of turnovers, it is huge for us too. So those are the two big things.
What is something that you and the staff have uncovered that maybe you didn't expect to find out about your team?
I think we knew we'd have a selfless group. We knew we'd have a really hard-working group. It was really great to see at UGA the way that our team battled. And that was probably going to be not the question mark. I knew we played hard, but just how gritty would we be? Because obviously we were just so severely outmatched, especially inside size-wise. And so we knew that that was going to be the case going in. So we talked about it right before we went out there. Like, hey, we're really most concerned with our mentality today. Like, yes, we know that we're outmatched in there. They're a lot bigger than us, but how hard are we going to battle? So I think that was probably just the biggest takeaway, is that I was really pleased with our toughness in there.
6 days away from the season opener at the Hill for Georgia Southern women's basketball, taking on Central Michigan in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. We'll talk a little bit more with head coach Hana Haden when we return. This is Wild Wing Cafe, and it is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Eagle Nation, this is Marcus Sack with MESAC Engineering. When we started our full-service engineering firm, there was a lot pulled from Coach Russell's playbook. MESAC Engineering is designed on precision performance with a do-right approach. Whether you're looking for water and wastewater engineering, transportation engineering, or a full suite of land surveying services, MESAC can deliver the right product at the right cost in the least amount of time. My wife Jennifer and I are both Georgia Southern alumni, and MESAC Engineering is proud to be a partner with Georgia Southern Athletics. Visit us online at MESAC.com. Go Eagles!
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Hey Eagles fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Georgia Southern football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Let's go Eagles! SeatGeek.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You cannot hitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the bars. Back in the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Bliss. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACDA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Hail Southern Live moves on from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro here until 8 o'clock, talking Georgia Southern men's and women's basketball. We'll get men's head coach Charlie Henry up in about 10 minutes, and then we'll close our program with Georgia Southern's Director of Athletics, Chris Davis. Another couple of minutes with women's head coach Hana Haden. Submit those comments or questions on Facebook Live, or you can send us a tweet at GS Sports Network. With that first game 6 days away, but having 2 scrimmages already played, how does that help you figure out not just what the rotation is going to look like, but who exactly is going to be in that rotation?
Yeah, that's what the scrimmages are for. Well, in a lot of practices before that, kind of help lead you to those to the rotations in scrimmages. But you're trying to get in a rhythm, as far as rotating players. And to be honest, Saturday, we played I think 4 seniors 30+ minutes, and so I probably need to do a little bit better job. But at that point, we were just really competitive, and so we kind of stuck with some of our experience there. But the scrimmages are great for kind of getting the kinks out, again, seeing who's playing well together and looking at different lineups.
How much do you anticipate seeing some early things that you're going to have to sort out so you can get to become the team that you ultimately will by the time that you get to February and March?
Yeah, I think that's what all these early games are about, and it's funny. We actually did mock scouts this summer where we've looked at a lot of our non-conference schedule already, and there's a lot of different identities in the teams, that we're slated to play now. Obviously, there's a lot of turnover and stuff like that, and so you'll just kind of see how that comes to fruition. But in the non-con, you have to establish your identity, and I was glad to see a couple things, come to fruition for us in the scrimmage as far as our defensive identity and even the way that we were able to space the floor and shoot some of those threes. And so you really want to hone in on that. Obviously, from game to game, there's going to be different things that you need. As far as defending the post, that's not something that we necessarily do against each other in practice because we're playing more of the 5-out. So one game might be more of an inside game that you're going to have to defend. We're ready to defend, 3-point shooting teams. And so I think just the more you can, kind of transition through those different teams in your non-conference schedule, and then you're going to be prepared because we're going to see the same thing in the Sun Belt. Now, we do see more 5-out, but there will be some post play that we're going to have to play against. And so all of those games help you prepare for that Sun Belt conference play.
And you and I discussed that before about getting an idea of what the league would be like in year one, but with so much turnover with all these newcomers, team over team, Georgia Southern having 10 going into the season, you might think you've got a feel for what a certain opponent is going to look like. They might be completely different by the time that you get there, but to your point, having played against so many different styles, it'll be just okay, remember we did this against this team, now we just need to be better this time.
Yeah, exactly. Being able to kind of recall on that previous experience typically helps with that. And identities change. I think by the end of the year last year, we had developed that post identity playing through Leah Johnson and India Green. But, for the first half of the season, we couldn't even keep Leah Johnson on the floor for foul trouble and things like that. So it definitely evolves throughout the season. And, your players evolve as well as their understanding for scout and different things schematically.
When will you officially begin that deep dive and tell your team what kind of team that you anticipate Central Michigan being?
Yeah, probably on Wednesday. We talked about it today that your first game, you have the biggest advantage and the most time to prep. So, our coaching staff has had the scout done for a while now, and we'll really start introducing that on Wednesday with our team and our scout players, which is just a huge asset for us, is being able to have our scout guys. And they're so great for us. They're there, every single day at practice, and they really take pride in, being the scout version of that other team. So they'll buy into what players they're supposed to be, and the different ball screen coverages and things like that. So it's huge to have them, and we'll definitely start that up on Wednesday.
That's one thing that's important to understand about prepping, because going into a football season, you've got the entire summer to get ready for that first opponent, but then it's at the most a week. Sometimes it's only 4 days to get ready for your next opponent, so you don't want to feel like you're too secure with the way that you do things the first game, because it's not going to be that way the rest of the year.
Right. And for us, especially when we get into Sun Belt play, sometimes we're playing Wednesday, Saturday, sometimes we're playing Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's such a quick turnaround, and that's why we always want to have a really good balance in, being really good at what we do, in our own principles, and then, just having things that you tweak for different opponents.
When we visited for the podcast back in the summer, the LSU game had just been signed. The contract, the ink was still running on it. Now we're closer and closer, and it's just about here. So in just a little bit at the Hill, more than 5,000 people are going to be there. Kim Mulkey's going to be on the other sidelines. Flau'jae's going to be over there. Malaysia's going to be over there. A top 5 opponent is coming to Statesboro. I know you got the first opponent, and you've got Florida State before that, but that still has to be an amazing thought to where your program, the kind of stage they're going to be in just a few days.
Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. Like you said, to have a sellout crowd. Yes, to have Kim Mulkey over there and Flau'jae, just they're so talented. So we're definitely looking at Central Michigan and Florida State, but then we'll be excited to host that sellout on November 9th.
How beneficial is it to have that Florida State game in between?
I think it's really good. I think from, again, scrimmaging Georgia, and then you got Central Michigan, and, taking on another P4 opponent like that, I think, playing against that level of competition and typically size and things like that, I think will help us.
Going from year one to year two as a Division I coach, there has to be a wow factor in that first year. Coaching your first D1 game, which you won up in Athens, Ohio in the MAC Sun Belt Challenge. How much more comfortable is it, but how much more motivating is it to try to be better than what you were in year one?
Yeah, it's extremely motivating. I think last year we did feel like we played some good basketball late in the season, but we just waited a little bit too long, again, especially with the way our conference tournament is set up. But I think it was really motivating for our staff. We want to be better this year. And I think going into year two, we're just more equipped, again, really clear vision. Our staff has had the opportunity to work together for a year and really get to know each other's strengths. And, we're doing a new strategy even with our staff as far as coordinators go.
Right.
And, we're just, we're settled in, but, we're really just excited about, the year ahead in year two. And again, we want to make everybody here proud. We want to make Georgia Southern and the Statesboro community proud. And so I think that, and then giving our players the best experience we can, is just really motivating.
Year one saw 16 victories, a pair of victories in the Sun Belt Tournament for the first time as a program. Year two for Coach Hana, Haden, and crew begins on Monday night at the Hill. 6 o'clock tip, MAC Sun Belt Challenge against the Central Michigan Chippewas. Coach, thanks so much for being here tonight. Best of luck in year two, getting started with year two, and we'll be talking again throughout the year.
Thanks, Danny. Hail Southern.
Women's head coach Hana Haden. We come back. It's time for some men's basketball with head coach Charlie Henry. That's next at Wild Wing on Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield.
For 79 years, Braswell Food Company has been crafting delicious specialty products with a commitment to quality and family tradition. Our top-selling red pepper jelly is a sweet, spicy delight made with only the finest ingredients. Perfect for appetizers, glazes, or your favorite recipes. From our family to yours, Braswell's brings time-honored recipes and premium quality to every jar. Taste the tradition with America's top-selling and award-winning jams, dressings, sauces, and mustards. Braswell's is available at grocers nationwide, or visit our website, www.braswells.com.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste. Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanut, get your peanut.
Since 1945, the Sack Company has established its reputation by safely providing high-quality construction services. The Sack Company consistently demonstrates the highest level of professionalism, safety, and attention to details. Their hands-on experience in all phases of construction assure that you will get quality performance in a timely and cost-effective method. Accountability, care, excellence, innovation, integrity, safety, teamwork. The Sack Company. We bring business to life.
At Tidewater Equipment Company in Brooklyn, we understand how important every hour is when you're farming. We have an exceptional parts and service department, an extensive used equipment inventory, and we are exclusive distributors of Case IH tractors, planters, sprayers, combine balers, and more. We're here for everything you need when it comes to agriculture. Visit Tidewater in Brooklyn or online at TidewaterEquip.com, your premier Case IH tractor dealer. To those who work in acres, not ours, we thank you.
Welcome to Window World. For over 20 years, our Window World and family motto has remained the same: quality, value, and trust.
Our team is the best you'll find anywhere. Great people providing exceptional service and, of course, American-made products that we proudly warranty for life.
Right now, get a house full of windows for as low as $159 per month.
Call for your free consultation today. Window World of Coastal Georgia and South Carolina.
We're here for you for life.
Next time you need a dozer, a light tower, a scissor lift, or any other job site supplies, call Yancey Rents at 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com and get the best maintained equipment in Georgia. With 17 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Again, that's 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com.
BBWH Insurers, owned and operated by Georgia Southern alumni, has been serving Southeast Georgia since 1888. Our partnerships with quality A-plus rated carriers such as the Central Mutual Insurance Companies provide affordable and comprehensive coverage for your family and business. BBWH Insurers protects and supports our own. That's our true blue promise to you. Call me, Ashley Ellis, at 912-764-9602 or visit us online at bbwhins.com. And go Eagles!
It's football time, which turns Thursday and Sunday into the best days of the week. Well, they just got better, because now through October 26th, Keno has 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Win $500, it becomes $650. That's like getting extra field goal points for scoring a touchdown. So play Keno online and anywhere Keno is sold and get 30% higher payouts during bonus hours. Thursdays 6 to 8 p.m. and Sundays 1 to 3 p.m. Only from the Georgia Lottery. Play responsibly.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
About 25 minutes left in this week's edition of Hail Southern Live for Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Football hitting another mini bye week. They'll be back at it next Thursday, November the 6th. Arch rivalry game up in Boone. Chapter 41 of Deeper Than Hate between the Eagles and Appalachian State at Kid Brewer Stadium announced earlier today. That is on ESPN2. 7:30 is the kickoff from The Rock. We'll be on with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show starting at 5:30. Good stuff this evening so far from Coach Backus and Coach Hana. Haden. Now we're talking men's basketball. They begin 1 week from tonight, Greenville, North Carolina against the ECU Pirates. 7 o'clock is the tip inside Minges Coliseum. We'll have the network airtime starting at 6:30. Cutwater Spirits countdown to tip-off. Entering his third year, Eagle Nation, please welcome Charlie Henry to Wild Wing Cafe. That cheer was okay. It wasn't as good as Hannah's.
No, rightfully so.
Year 3 already.
Yes, year 3. We're excited, really excited. So you coach me up. You know, obviously during the break, you know, I like to tell our guys to stay on script offensively, you know, read our triggers, get to action. And you got me staying on script, so I'm gonna let you take it away.
13 newcomers this year. That's a lot of names and faces you've had to get to know. So like with Coach Haden having 10 newcomers, how have you gone about trying to incorporate all those new guys and build your team?
You know, it happens probably more natural than people think. We kind of laugh about it, but we brought 2 guys after summer, one of them being a preferred type walk-on, and the other one, you know, we lost Dallas Gardner, who's going to be a really good guard for us. We got put it on hold for a year. He had a tough injury in the summer, so we went out and we signed Jefferson, and we kind of laughed because our guys had been together those 7 weeks this summer, and you'd have thought, you know, just from a personality standpoint and interactions, they had been together much longer. So when Jefferson got there, you know, he was kind of the new guy, you know, him and Cade, odd man out a little bit. And I said, just watch. It'll be just like in the summer. And, you know, you guys are all quiet now, but in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not going to be able to get you to shut up.
Having played your 2 exhibitions against Jacksonville, you played Winthrop last weekend. What caught your eye and your staff's eye about the kind of group you have?
Man, you know, hard playing team, really hard playing team. You know, I was pleased with our effort. You know, obviously when you got new guys, there's stuff to clean up. There's no doubt about that. But you know, definitely got to get some areas cleaned up. But was pretty pleased with our competitive level. You know, Coach Mincy is a good friend at Jacksonville, and you know we talked after the scrimmage about each other's teams, and obviously, you know, always great respect for those guys. But, you know, when he was, you know, when he's calling timeout early in the first half and talking about our effort, you know, I was feeling pretty good. You know, and Winthrop, you know, Coach Prosser does a great job. Yeah. So we played 2 really good teams, you know, 2 really good teams. Excited about the effort we put up forth. I think that's just a foundational thing. That's where it starts, man. Like, we want to be the hardest playing team on the floor each and every night. So I think we got some guys that are bought into that. And now we obviously got to layer it with other things.
What are some of those other things that you're going to be working towards over the next week and through the early stages of the season?
Yeah, well, before you win, you got to eliminate the ways in which you beat yourself, you know, and if you look at, last year, for example, we made a jump last year. Our defense made a jump as well, but we had a really good first shot defense. But unfortunately, there were two areas, we did not win the free throw line battle. We fouled too much, and then we ourselves didn't get to the line, and then when we did, we didn't make them at a high enough clip. So we got to defend without fouling, and we have to limit teams to one shot. I actually thought our first shot defense last year was pretty good, but we got to do it without fouling. We got to be disciplined enough to finish possessions. And then on offensively, we got a lot of shooting on this team. We've added a ton of shooting. It's the most shooting I've had here. But got to take care of the ball. Jacksonville is pretty disruptive with us. We turned it over, all right, again, turned it over too much. And like I said, before you win, you got to eliminate the ways in which you beat yourself. And if we, share the ball, take care of it, like we're gonna make shots, and obviously we got added some things, we tacked the rim a little bit more. Hopefully that increased space, increased shooting spreads you out and leads to more plays at the rim and more free throws, which we know are the most efficient plays.
Know that Eagle Nation is super excited as part of that overhaul of shooting, getting someone back after he spent your first year here, 2 years overall, being Tyron Moore. He was a 17-point per game guy 2 years ago, 19 a game in conference. The last time Eagle Nation saw him, he was going for 36 against App in the Sun Belt tournament that year when the Eagles nearly upset the 1 seed to go to the conference semifinals. How do you think that year away can help him become an even better player in his final year?
Well, Ty's a really good player. He's just got high-level feel. As far as being a dribble pass shoot guy, we got our shot blocked too much last year, and Tyron, for a small guard, rarely ever gets a shot blocked. He's really good pace to his game, 2 feet, under control, getting guys in the air, gets to the free throw line. So he's got he's really got an old school game, to be honest with you. Gets it done with just kind of know-how, craftiness, and he's appreciative to be back here. He's a great dude. We always see eye to eye when I'm talking about, what we need from him and, what this team needs. So, he's been a great guy to have back, a great presence in the locker room.
Eagle Nation will get to know a lot of new guys starting next Tuesday, but Spud Webb immediately jumps off the page for reasons because the name was with the Atlanta Hawks so many years ago, won a slam dunk championship. No relation for this Spud to that Spud. But the way that his game was built at Division II Emmanuel, how do you think it's going to translate to Division I in the Sun Belt?
I think it's going to translate really well. Familiar with, guys in the league, what teams have. I don't think a lot of teams know how good of a player Spud is, which is fine. I'll use the Winthrop game, for example. I mean, he had 27 and 11, and that's a really good team, a team that won, 23 games last year and, played in their conference tournament championship. So there's some things that translate up, and I've worked at a lot of different levels. Getting to the free throw line translates, and he shot 15 of them, against Winthrop. Rebounding translates, guys that don't rebound, well, they generally don't rebound, no matter where they're at. Guys that have a knack for it, it transfers up. So he's really, plays much bigger than he is at 6'4", and really a physical player.
Savet Soderov from Northern Illinois is going to have a chance to stretch defenses. He's hopefully going to be in the neighborhood of 40% from three-point territory. He'll give you an 8 on the glass as well. But Alden Applewhite, Andre Spurney, those are guys that are going to be able to help you become a one-shot defense as well, to some of the things you spoke about earlier.
Yeah, no, the front court, having to remake the front court was, the people that get the raw end of that deal are my wife and my 3 kids back there. It's changed. The college landscape's changed a lot. You go from a really busy season to all of a sudden maybe even a busier time during portal season. So, you miss out on some things with your wife and your 3 kids. But luckily, my wife's the best. But was really good with how our front court shaped out. Bernie, as you said, Andres Bernie, we call him Lank. He's been awesome. Shannon is a high upside guy, transferred in from Bluefield State, very athletic, big. And then Savet is a skill big. So each of them kind of do things a little bit different, but they all bring really good play to our team.
All right, describe the prep as you get ready for your opener on the road with no MAC games this year, but playing East Carolina 1 week from tonight.
Yeah, you try to dig up, everything you can. Obviously, you watch games from last year. Unfortunately, they played 2 scrimmage, and neither of those were like televised or streamed. So you talk to their opponents, your friends, at other places, and season previews, and then obviously dive into what they did last year and how they might use new guys. But we're really, we're as a team, we're jumping into it tomorrow. So we kind of cleaned up some stuff from Winthrop today, and then practice, and then we'll start jumping into them tomorrow. So you got a good week prep. We want to make the most of it. We want to, again, we know it's going to be quite a challenge, but we want to go on the road and get one to start the year.
Minges Coliseum, Greenville, North Carolina, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll have network coverage beginning at 6:30 with the Cutwater Spirits countdown to tip off Georgia Southern and East Carolina to open the season. Great to talk with you again. Appreciate the time, and we will see you next Tuesday in Greenville.
Thank you, Danny.
Head coach Charlie Henry for Georgia Southern men's basketball will wrap things up after this timeout. Going to talk with CD, the AD, Chris Davis. The final few minutes coming up next here from Wild Wing, powered by Learfield.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Hey Eagles fans, it's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Georgia Southern football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Georgia Southern Eagles. Let's go Eagles! SeatGeek.
Next time you need a dozer, a light tower, a scissor lift, or any other job site supplies, call Yancey Rents at 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com and get the best maintained equipment in Georgia. With 17 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia. Again, that's 1-844-YNC-RENT or visit YanceyRents.com.
The passion.
He's going to take it to the house. Dinner's cooking. Touchdown.
The fury.
There was flames on that ball.
The speed.
35-40. There he goes. Down the sideline.
The best in college football.
For the end zone. Got it for 6 points. You can unhitch the wagon. Put the ponies in the barn. Back in the end zone. 30, 20.
This is the College Football Blitz. Listen all season long on College Sports Now on the Varsity Network.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup for the top college athletic programs for the 2025-26 college athletic season? Check out the criteria and follow the year-long standings of your favorite team at L Directors Cup on the X platform or online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2026 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. The Learfield Directors Cup, powered by NACTA, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Good night of basketball talk here inside Wild Wing Cafe for Hail Southern Live. We appreciate Coach Backus, Coach Haden, and Coach Henry for joining us. The season is less than a week away for the women. Monday inside the Hill, 6 o'clock tip against Central Michigan. And for the men, they'll be at East Carolina on Tuesday, 7 o'clock tip against the ECU Pirates. We'll be live at 6:30 courtside with the Cutwater Spirits countdown at tip-off. We're going to get a fall update since football is on the bye week. Going to get a chance to take a look at all of our sports. Eagle Nation at this time, welcome in Director of Athletics Chris Davis to Wild Wing Cafe.
Hey, Danny.
Lots and lots of things
good?
to do this time of the year, so we appreciate a couple of minutes to close out the show.
No, absolutely. Glad to be here and appreciate being on.
With everything that we could begin with, we probably should start with the most important sport at Georgia Southern in Eagle football since it is the bye week. I know that there's going to be 11 days before the next game against App State. But with a 3-5 record and 1-3 in conference play, this has been your first full season as the AD with a football season.
Mm-hmm.
How would you evaluate how things have gone through the first 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, football naturally is a driver here. All of our sports, you hear Coach Hana and Coach Charlie getting up tonight, and it was awesome seeing Coach Backus. And all of our sports and all of our student athletes are important. We know what football is, and right now, being at 3-5 and where we sit, I know all of us aren't happy. That's just reality. I mean, we're not happy. Our student athletes aren't happy. Our players, our coaches, our staff, Eagle Nation's not happy. I'm not happy. That's reality. And that's tough for a lot of reasons. And we have expectations, and we don't shy away from them. And I know that there's a lot of care factor out there, and so we have expectations, and we want November to matter by chasing Sun Belt Championship opportunities. And knowing that we're not in that spot right now is frustrating. And I understand, and everyone is, and we have a giant care factor about what's going on right now. And we're going to look, we're diving deep in every aspect.
With the time that there is still in this 25 season with 4 weeks left, and with a run, Georgia Southern will get back to a 4th straight bowl game, and that's something that has not happened in the FBS era. But in the conversations that you and the upper admin and with Coach Haden, those conversations that have happened, what have you guys identified and how things could get better sooner instead of later?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, and if you look at our football team, and it was an extremely tough loss, against Arkansas State, and no one's given up. Like, this team genuinely wants to win for not only the locker room itself and our coaches and staff, but also this team wants to win for Eagle Nation and for Georgia Southern and for this university. That's just absolutely the case. And you haven't, you've seen that, especially these last few games, how much they care. And, I'm not getting into the whole hardship of injuries. We've had a ton of them. It's a next man up mentality. It has to be. Even though we've had our fair share of way too many injuries, out for the year type injuries. But, Dr. Moreno and I have constant communication about just everything because we're staying aligned as an institution. I think that's in today's deal. You hear the word alignment, but you have to live the word alignment. Yep. And we're living alignment. And yes, to our fan base, to Eagle Nation, I know you're frustrated, and we have to, and it's hard to say this because, but we have to stick together and stay aligned. There's time to constantly assess and adjust. Clay and I talk daily, weekly, sometimes multiple times in a day, multiple times in a day, and trying to look at every situation on how we continue to assess our football program to be in the best spot we can, and knowing that right now we're not in a great spot. Being 3-5, and no one wants to be here. And we have 4 games. We have to fight for every W over these next 4 games. And then from there, we have to assess and adjust and really look at everything, totality of the season. But right now, it's 1 game, and it's the next game.
What's the most important thing that all of us can collectively do to make sure that we stay aligned?
Well, I mean, listen, the last 4 games at home at Paulson Stadium have been phenomenal. The environment's been incredible. For sure. A big thanks to Eagle Nation for showing up. Our student body, you want to say about the growth of our institution. You want to say the biggest freshman class. You want to say where the growth is of our Southeast Georgia, Bullitt County, Statesboro, Georgia, and Georgia Southern, and then you see what's going on in Paulson Stadium, there's a reason why they're all aligned together.
Yeah.
And our environment, we get a chance to travel around all these different, stadiums. Like what we have in atmosphere and what our team is doing in our atmosphere from our marketing team and our data productions team and all of our, video team, et cetera, that's putting everything together on the video board. And then what we're trying to do from an events and operations standpoint with around Paulson Stadium is phenomenal. And we got 2 games left at home. And I ask Eagle Nation to show up, be loud like you have. All these years, Paulson Stadium has always given us a great opportunity to win at home. And we need to be in that spot. And then last, I'll say is Danny on football, is that, Eagle Nation, like we hear you. Like we hear your passion. And we recognize it. I recognize it. I'm absolutely one of the ultimate competitors. Our fan base is, and so is our student athletes, our coaches, and our staff. And like I said, we'll continue to assess and just know that in this ever-changing college football landscape, we're going to continue to chase great success.
Teams this fall that have had great success. Men's soccer clinched their spot in the Sun Belt tournament just last night. Great victory on the road against James Madison, a top 25 squad, having one of their best seasons in program history.
Yeah.
Georgia Southern volleyball back home this weekend against Coastal Carolina. They're having one of their best seasons ever. They use Hana as such a tool. And with women's rifle, 14-2 the record. They just spent last week out at the U.S. Olympic Training Facility in Colorado Springs. Soren Butler has done amazing things there with 3 straight Southern Conference championships. So it's clear that there is a standard being set with Georgia Southern Athletics.
Yeah, our athletic department, our executive team, our coaches, our student athletes, like the alignment we have going on in the entire enterprise and ecosystem of our athletic department is extremely strong. And to your point about men's soccer, Lee Squires and what they're doing as a student, all those players, and I tuned in last night, watched the whole game as we, beat James Madison 1-0 and was fired up for them. And then to your point about volleyball, Chad and what our student athletes have done, and it's really cool to see Chad year over year from when he got here to where it is today. I mean, it was a constant state of building.
Yeah.
And then you look at our rifle program, once again, even with Soren, a constant state of building. Granted, not everybody always sees those sports, but that's what's gone on with each and every one of them. So it's, it's a testament, and, rifle team being number 2 in the country, really, really cool. And they continue to shoot great scores. And then, you heard, really excited as we get closer. We call this in the business crossover season, where we have our fall sports and our winter sports start to collide. And you heard from two of our coaches, and Coach Hana Haden, Coach Charlie Henry, and what the excitement that's going to be over at the Jack and Ruth Ann Hill Convocation Center, which with that's going on. So that's exciting, and I'll tell you, Danny, fired up for that crossover piece, because there's so many events then at that point going on. You just pretty much look at the calendar and there's a place to be. And I also, one of my favorite things too about our last 2 remaining games at Paulson is how many opportunities you get, out in the tailgating lots. And I wish we had more time. I got there, around 11 o'clock or 10:30, and got a chance to spend so many time with donors and season ticket holders, and spending time with people on the sideline pregame, and being up in the different suites and area. And so, always willing to have conversations, have a giant care factor for this place. Know it comes with a large role and a very impactful role and a caring role, but know that we stay in constant alignment and in constant care. And we want Georgia Southern. We want everyone to be proud of Georgia Southern, but we also know that there's a process, and we'll always assess during the process as well.
Well, Chris, I know a lot of people here enjoyed getting a chance to hear from you, not just about football, but about all of our sports, and for the leadership that we're going to need now, but also going forward. We appreciate the time, and thank you very much.
No, I appreciate it, Danny, and thank you to Eagle Nation. Thank you for everyone being here tonight, and we'll stay rolling in this constant, ever-changing landscape of what they call college athletics, and we'll do this thing, Hail Southern, GATA.
That's Director of Athletics Chris Davis. For Mike Backus, for Hana Haden, for Charlie Henry, for Chris Affolter back in our studios. Danny Reed signing off from Wild Wing Cafe. You've been listening to Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.